us on Newspaper Review on Citizen FM 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Welcome to the show. As usual, we will be taking a trip around the pages of the papers across the country today and finally settling on some of the stories during the second half of the show. And quickly, let's move on straight to the program. We start off from the front page of the Guardian newspaper, and it says ICPC recovers over 13 billion naira diverted from government coffers in 1 month. That's from the chair of ICPC. ICPC is the Independent Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Commission. And moving away from there, we see another story here. Borno police activate intelligence gathering center against terrorism and others. And also Ondo Guba polls, youth storm INEC office, demand redeployment of REC. Don't forget that another off-cycle election is coming, this time in Ondo State governorship election. Subsidy uncertain as oil prices surge amid Iran-Israel conflict. Stakeholders fault high import duty, foreign exchange rate as car importation drops by 60%. Nigerian auditor indicted by United States SEC, that's Security and Exchange Commission, for alleged fraud. And back home here, politics, Senate leader denies working against Yoruba's interest. And 49% of businesses raise prices in September, says PMI. And for some local politics now, Rivers local government polls, Fubara declares October 3rd and 4th public holidays. Enugu Flays report on Southeast on states' ease of doing business. World Bank to partner Nigeria in developing maritime sector. And police deny detaining male suspect with females in cell. And CSOs petition Nasarawa government over devastation, exploitation in mining communities. Student dies, 2 injured during sign-out celebration in Enugu. Lagos government mobilizes 2,500 graduates for internship placement. Ekiti to migrate civil servants to contributory pension scheme. And Ndume to Tinubu hire mercenaries to fight terrorists and more. And for some stories on the African continent, Kenya's President William Ruto marks 2 years in office. Rwandan ex-doctor on trial in France accused of genocide. Well, still staying with the Guardian newspaper, 8 suspects arrested for burning the National Open University Center, ex-senator's home in Imo State. Police arraigned woman over alleged 4.8 million naira fraud. All right, we move on to the Punch newspaper now, and the front page story, the lead story here says, local government autonomy, governors in fresh move to delay implementation. Edo polls, APC knocks PDP over protests at INEC office. Delegate threatens 5 billion naira defamation suit against Osun APC. And how 704 kilograms of marijuana was found in suspect's trunk. This is according to the NDLEA. An ICPC recovered 13 billion naira looted fund in September, according to the chairman of the commission. National honors, House not inferior to Senate, reps tell federal government. And local government polls, INEC withholds register as Rivers Wike camp clash. Federal government stops VAT on diesel cooking gas. NNPC portal shut down, delays petrol supply. This is according to marketers in the industry. And our next up is The Nation newspaper. The lead story here, Nigeria redesign. Okay, Naira redesign didn't follow standard procedure. Ex-acting CBN boss tells Scout. And the Senate invites Umahi over Old Oyo Ogbomosho Road. VAT on diesel, CNG, cooking gas gone. Military dismisses naval rating for alleged misconduct. The Tribune is next, and it leads with the energy story too. High living cost. Federal government removes VAT on diesel, cooking gas, electric cars, and others. And on politics, article proposes rotational presidency. National honors, reps tackle Tinubu over conferment of lower award on speaker. And President Tinubu goes on 2-week annual leave. Daily Trust is next, and families devastated as search continues for survivors in Niger boat tragedy. Constitutional review, article proposes rotational presidency. Kaduna launches 48 vehicles, bikes for TB, HIV programs. And Obasanjo, 20 governors to attend Kano's DB-funded agro project workshop. Federal government moves to evacuate Nigerians in Lebanon as rift with Israel deepens. Military dismisses seaman detained for 6 years. We move on to this day newspaper, and the lead story here. Engage military contractors to wipe out Boko Haram. Ndume tells Tinubu. FG unveils new fiscal incentives to boost oil and gas sector. House of Reps rejects inferior CFR honor conferred on Speaker Abbas. And the African Development Bank seeks strategic investment in wheat production as demand hits 75 metric tons. And our final stop is with the Vanguard newspaper with the headline, Federal government grants tax exemption for oil and gas sector. Banks deposit rise to 16% amidst gloomy economy. Why some Nigerian judges are timid? Who is saying this? Ahamba, senior advocate of Nigeria. Okay. Alleged bomb threat. APC wants IGP to investigate PDP's threat. And Amici still strong in Rivers politics. He's supporting candidates for LGA polls. This is according to the APC. Edo Assembly recalls suspended members. Federal government initiates evacuation of Nigerians in Lebanon as tension with Israel escalates. 150 feared dead, 9 bodies recovered in Niger boat's tragedy. Sad story there. Outrage as Agege local government demolishes 30-year-old private school building. All right, so that's all we can take this morning on the front pages of the papers. We will take a short break, and when we return, we go straight to the second half of the show.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's your newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. And this is the part where we unveil our guest and in-house analyst, and also open up the phone lines for your interventions. You can call us on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 2222206. Any of these numbers, you can send us a WhatsApp message and we will be glad to respond to it. Okay, our analyst is in the studio, Mr. Salman Salami, Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning to you, Lawrence, and our super citizen listeners. Very good morning to you, and we hope that you will participate in the program today.
All right. Okay, Mr. Salami, we move on straight to the second half of this show, and we start with the Guardian newspaper. ICPC recovers over 13 billion naira diverted from government coffers in 1 month. The story has it that from the chairman of the ICPC, Dr. Musa Aliu, came a revelation that over 13 billion naira in public funds were diverted in September 2024 alone. Aliu made the revelation yesterday in Abuja at the launch of the Commission's 2024 to 2028 Strategic Action Plan. Said ICPC recovered the fund while discharging its mandate. He noted that ICPC was developing a specialized curriculum to enhance the enforcement capacity of its personnel, adding that the initiative would equip officers with the skill and expertise needed to address the complexities of corruption cases with the highest standard of professionalism and efficiency. Mr. Salami, 13 billion naira in 1 month.
As far as I'm concerned, even though I am not the chairman of ICPC, neither am I the chairman of EFCC. But as a veteran journalist of over 39 years, I know that the amount recovered is negligible. If 13 billion is recovered as amount diverted in 1 month, then we are going somewhere. But we all know that the money being diverted is much more than that, given what SERAP has been doing. SERAP has been on this, budgeted has been on this. And of course, we journalists who have our ears to the ground, of course, you don't ask me that what is my source, because I will not reveal it.
Yeah. We
all know that quite a lot of sleaze is going on. And I want ICPC to up its game. Also, EFCC to rise up and let Nigerians too talk. Let me tell you, there are so many decent civil servants in the service. Quite many of them follow strictly the rules, but they are unsung, and they are not loved, and they keep their heads low. They have been humiliated times and times over because they have refused to join them. The idea of if you cannot beat them, join them is senseless. If you cannot beat them doing the wrong thing, stay alone or stand alone. Don't join them. Not necessarily that you should join those who are doing what we all know is not right. And that is God-fearing. Only those who are God-fearing are those who do not partake in this list going on. Lawrence, is mind-boggling, and I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. I do not know how we have come to this. In the two books, it is clear that you will read, "Thou shalt not steal." It is better obeyed.
Okay, Mr. Salami, I was just wondering because when the ICPC chairman says 13 billion naira was recovered, so it means that somehow during the process, some people voluntarily paid back this money and they were left off the hook as part of the deal. If you can return some of the money, then we will not prosecute you. That's part one. Then part two, for those that the ICPC did due diligence and found to have stolen money and got the money back, what about prosecution? So how do we manage these two sets of people? People who voluntarily return some parts, mind you, of the stolen fund, and those that you go all the hog in prosecution to get them.
I will begin investigation today because I read it yesterday. How it was recovered, I will leave it as a lead. I won't speculate. And after knowing how it was recovered, I will now know what next. I will leave it at that.
Okay, so we leave it at that, and but this second story, we can't leave it at that because it's a trending story still since yesterday. Reps demand GCON for Abbas, says Speaker above CJN. The House of Representatives yesterday momentarily embarked on an ego trip as they questioned the decision by President Bola Tinubu to confer Commander of the Federal Republic on the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. They called on the President to uphold the spirit of bicameral equality as enshrined in the Constitution when making decisions and recommendations that govern the leadership of the National Assembly. Mr. Salami, this story is all over the place since yesterday. What's your reaction to this?
Ego trip. It's so simple as that. Bicameral equality, yes, in theory. Do they earn the same salary? The senators and the members of the House of Rep, do they earn the same salary? And as far as I'm concerned, I think the job to be done is there. They should face the job to be done. You see, let me tell you, whether you are crowned or you are not crowned, of course, those of us who have reported politics, we know the uncrowned CJNs of Nigeria. They are still respected. You see, if you feel that, yes, the speaker should have a GCON instead of CFR, why don't you work on it without necessarily making it a big deal? So what is more important to them is the designation of the speaker as GCON and not CFR, and not to pass or work on bills that we elevate or improve the lives of the people. Do you know that it would have been better if the people, out of love for them and out of their competence, diligence, and sensitivity to the welfare and well-being of the people, and the people now say, Mr. President, the speaker deserves more than CFR. Give him GCON. It is a better story than this one, because it's one of you, one of yours, and is a member. And you see, the important thing to me, the annoying thing to me is this. So that is more important in all problems that of all the problems facing this country, the myriads of problems facing us, they feel what is more important to them is the designation or appellation or the cadre of award, national honor given to the number one member of the House of Reps. If they could just go for this, if they could go for better bills, or how to enhance and ensure that bills that will enhance the welfare and well-being of Nigerians. If such bills are given this type of attention, see how they rose in unison.
Okay, Mr. Salami, let's for a second, maybe we should just give the lawmakers, cut them some slack and look at their argument. They are saying that institutionally that there is a protocol that Nigeria follows, from the number one citizen to the second citizen, the vice president. The third citizen is the Senate president, and naturally the fourth citizen is the speaker. So how come somebody that is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who is behind the speaker in terms of the protocol list, has a higher title?
It is even wrong for the CJN to be behind the speaker. Okay. When you talk of the National Assembly, the headship is the president of the Senate.
Okay.
If you have three arms of government, the executive is represented by the president. That is one. The legislature is represented by this president of the Senate. And listen, after that, the third arm of government should come in. Okay,
if we are to follow that argument, Mr. Salami, if the executive arm of government is headed by the president, then how come the vice president is the number two citizen?
You see, to me, as far as I'm concerned, if you have three arms of government and you take one, the next thing is the second one, and the next thing is the third one. As far as I'm concerned, if they put that in the constitution, there is a need to rethink the ordering. Why? You have three arms of government. You won't say until we finish with the first one, then we take the second one. It doesn't make sense to me.
But that is what we have been doing. That is the example.
The fact that we have been doing the wrong thing does not mean that we should continue.
Okay.
The moment we realize that what we have been doing, no matter the amount of years we have been doing it, if we discover that it is wrong, the next thing and the right thing to do is to right the wrong.
Okay, so you are proposing that the Senate president should be the number two citizen.
Sure.
And then the Chief Justice should be number three.
That is how it should be.
Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Salami. Well, you can join this conversation. It's getting very interesting. Call us on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 2222206. Mr. Salami, we move on to another story with the Punch this time. Local government autonomy, governors in fresh move to delay implementation. Ahead of the submission of the report of the 10-member Interministerial Committee on the implementation of the Supreme Court ruling on local government areas autonomy next week, state governors have begun fresh lobbying against the enforcement of the verdict. The panel, headed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has concluded its assignment and is expected to submit its report on or before October 13, according to Punch. Under former President Mohamed Buhari, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit issued a regulation effective from June 1st, 2019, banning transactions on state and local government joint accounts. Funds were sent directly to the accounts of local government. It also limited cash withdrawal from local government account to a maximum amount of 500,000 naira per day. Well, the long and short of it is that after the Supreme Court ruling, the government trying to seek a political solution, set up a committee to resolve this. It does look as if somehow the governors are still very uncomfortable with this, despite their initial reaction after that judgment. Remember when they said, oh, it's a welcome development. In fact, it's even going to reduce the burden that we've been carrying.
Quite many of us knew from day one that it would be difficult to enforce that judgment, because politicians, they know how to sabotage whatever they consider as hindering their. I hope you are following my trend. You see, the thing is this. To start with, why will the executive set up a committee and the committee will say, yes, the implementation of the judgment will start from October? You see, if the Supreme Court gives a judgment, the judgment becomes active immediately. The pronouncement is made. You understand what I'm saying? But they will always like, do you know the implication? The implication is that the slush money is no more available. They are not comfortable with that judgment. That is the truth. The governors especially. Because the money meant for the local government is their cash cow. That is where most of them, apart from the security vote, make a kill. And I've been saying it. If we want to be transparent, let us be transparent. If we are not transparent, we know we are not transparent. We should stop deceiving ourselves. See the rush to conduct a local government election. In quite some many states, since 1999, there are some states that have not conducted the local government election. I don't want to mention a name. Throughout his 8 years in office, he did not conduct any local government election, and is the now saint of today's political order. He did not conduct any election in 8 years. And we know that what they normally do is to appoint a caretaker committee. And the caretaker committee is accountable to only one man, the man who appointed him. And you know what that means. You know what that means. Can we or should we continue like that? Should it be business as usual? There is more to it than it meets the eyes. This is where the ICPC should beam a searchlight. This is where the EFCC should beam a searchlight. The money is now coming to the local government directly. Please hold the chairman accountable. Let him come and sing like a canary that is HE. I will leave it at that.
All right. We move on to the Nation newspaper. VAT on diesel, CNG, cooking gas gone. A new tax regime that will minimize the cost of doing business, improve cost of living, and promote cleaner energy has been unveiled by the federal government. Value-added tax on cooking gas, diesel, compressed natural gas, and electric vehicles, among others, have been removed. Small businesses will also, beginning from January, be exempted from paying taxes to boost income and employment generation. Presidential aide Dada Olusegun yesterday in his X angles posted it. He said, as part of efforts to reduce the cost of living, enhance security and energy, and speed up Nigeria's shift to cleaner energy sources, the president has removed VAT on the following: that's diesel, liquefied natural gas, and others. He added that in order to incentivize the energy sector and reverse its long-term investment drought, the government introduced tax relief for deep offshore oil and gas projects. Mr. Salam.
A welcome development. But more than that, whatever that can be done to make life more meaningful and improve the welfare and well-being of the citizens should be done. Nothing is too much to be done to make Nigerians give a sigh of relief and ease the hardship in the land. This is a good development, and this is the way to go.
All right. Well, you can still join us. The phone lines are open. Call us on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 222206. Mr. Salami, the Nigerian Tribune lists with the story, Atiku proposes rotational presidency. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has put forward a series of constitutional amendments to the National Assembly, including a bold proposal for a rotational presidency between Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. In a letter addressed to Senator Barau Jibrin, Deputy President of the Senate and Chairman of the committee, Atiku outlined his recommendations aimed at strengthening the country's deep democratic framework. The recommendations are aimed at addressing key pitfalls in the current electoral laws and promoting a system that fosters national unity and fair competition for political offices. One of the key highlights of his proposal is the introduction of a rotational presidency, which will ensure that the office alternate between the North and South, with each zone serving a single 6-year term. This measure, Atiku argued, will improve equity and national unity in the highest office in the land. Salam.
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, a serial contender, because of course that is not derogatory, because it's true that he has been contesting for the presidency of this country for at least more than 4 times now, and he still wants to, from what we have gathered. You see, we are political reporters, and quite many of us who are members of NAPOC, National Association of Political Reporters, an organization that was put together since 1992, because you remember UP 93. We started before that time. By our standard, we have come of age and we should know some few things. You see, what is more important to Atiku Abubakar is how to become the president of this country.
Which is within his right.
Which is a good one. But I would have loved him to provide solution as to how the poor and the downtrodden masses will enjoy the goodness of this country. And if the people, the real people, know that this man has brighter and more brilliant ideas of how to govern this country and put smiles on the faces of the people will love him. It is self-seeking. I'm not dismissing his proposal, but to me it seems self-seeking. What should be more important and more paramount is not necessarily how the presidency of this country rotates. How would that guarantee good governance? Are you saying that automatically, if the presidency rotates from the north to the south, from the south to the north, good governance is the answer? I wonder how our politicians think and relate. Or do we say that they are more concerned about the spoil of politics.
Okay.
And not necessarily how do we arrange Nigeria or how do we govern the country in such a way that the core mandate or the sole objective of being in government is to improve the lives and condition of welfare of the people. How does a rotational presidency translate into good governance?
Okay, Mr. Salami, are you saying that if rotational presidency is adopted, Atiku Abubakar stands a better chance of becoming the president?
Not necessarily.
So why are you saying it's self-seeking?
You see, the thing is this. Let us say the truth. If the rotational presidency comes or becomes the order of the day, and the presidency is zoned to the north, Atiku is preeminently in front. You know all these things. And I'm not saying he will necessarily get it, but definitely if you line up 6 presidential candidates from the north, Atiku comes first.
Well, Mr. Salami,
he's right. No doubt about that.
If you look at our history, maybe it is not in the constitution, but we've always been adopting rotational presidency. If you look at from 2000 and...
But it is the arrangement of the parties,
yes,
not the constitution.
So that is neither here nor there. So it doesn't mean if we adopt that as a constitutional provision, one person will stand to benefit more than the other person.
One person will surely benefit if that person has been positioning himself long before it is provided for in the constitution. It makes it even easier for him to claim it.
Okay. Well, we know that. Let's leave that and move on to some other stories. So this is an issue that will generate a lot of discussion in days to come. But let's look at the story from Daily Trust. It's not a particularly it's not a nice story at all. But as journalists, we need to talk about it. Families devastated as search continues for survivors in Niger boat tragedy. And Nigeria is once again facing a devastating boat tragedy, underscoring the urgent need for more effective safety regulations in the country's waterways. Talking about that story, I'm sure, Mr. Salami, you are aware of
very much aware.
Yes.
What happened in Niger State?
Niger State.
The boat that capsized.
So, and in the last 1 year, I'm sure that we've had cases like this more than 3, 4, 5 times in different Niger states, Zamfara, and other states too. And it has to do, 1, over crowding of the boats, 2, the maybe mechanical faults and lack of efficiency or effectiveness of the people monitoring, doing due diligence when it comes to taking care of the vehicles that you use in transporting people across water. Over the years, when it happens, we mourn, we pay condolence visit, we move on, only for another incident to happen.
Lawrence, let me tell you that the NIWA, National Inland Waterways, should do more than what they are doing. And I want to believe that it has been going on for quite a long time, senseless waste of lives on our waterways. You see, I keep on saying this, that what does not involve the elite does not most times get their attention. You see, these boats and canoes that are used on our waters, those who patronize them are not the elites. Let me tell you, if it were to be aviation and aircraft, the airports, you will hear more in the newspapers about it. Like you rightly pointed out, it will happen, we will mourn, and next, life goes on. There is the need to revisit the water transportation, how it is conducted. There was a time I was going to Taraba State, and you get to a point where you will enter the boat, or the so-called, you understand what I'm saying? Do you know that they will even put your car or your bus on that thing?
Bacha.
So I have done it twice, and I have told myself that if it means I will not go to Taraba, I will not go to Taraba. If I must pass through that thing.
For those of us from the south, it's a common feature for us.
You can swim. I just cannot.
Too bad.
That 10 or 20 minutes trip, it is to me eternity.
And you'll be sweating.
More than that. Jokes apart, and this is a serious matter.
Yeah.
The senseless loss of life on our waterways is unacceptable. No one life is superior to other in theory. But then let us be conscionable. Let us spare a thought for the downtrodden masses. Those who have perished, they are parents of some people. It will have changed the destiny of some people for bad. They were alive, they couldn't fend properly for their words. Now that they are gone, what will be the lot of their families? May the souls of the departed rest in peace.
All right, Mrs. Salami, as we say this, we also need to beam the searchlights on our state governments and local governments, because most of the time, even the people who patronize this form of transportation know the danger, but because they hardly have any choice. You have some communities that you have that transportation once a day, maybe by 8 o'clock, and after that till tomorrow. But if you have alternative, people will start asking questions. People will make choices and say, okay, we don't like this boat because of their records. We can move to the other one and so many. So there are a lot of things to do. And that's why we keep saying, being the searchlight to your states, there are a lot of things that your states can do, that local governments can do, and that your representatives can influence. It's not everything constituency project, everything constituency project. There are a lot of things, and we need to ask the right questions. And Mr. Salami, let's move on to this day. And there's this story that has also generated a lot of controversy. Engage military contractors to wipe out Boko Haram, Dume tells Tinubu. As the security situation continues to deteriorate in the northeast and northwest, the Senator for Borno South Senatorial District, Alin Dume, has advised President Bola Tinubu to employ the services of military contractors to wipe out Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State who continue to pose a threat to the region. Dume hailed the gallant performance of the military and civilian JTF, but said they were ill-equipped to carry out the task of eliminating the remaining insurgents operating within the region. Salam.
We as Citizen FM say capital no to that. Look, the mercenaries that Ndume is calling, that Senator Ndume is calling on Mr. President to retain their services. Are they superhuman beings? Are they going to work alone? The truth is that the insurgency are being decimated on a daily basis, and the heat is now on them. Our military men and the security agencies have taken the fight to their doorstep. Our security agencies are not reacting again. They are now proactive in such a way that in droves, these people, the bandits, the insurgents, they are surrendering.
And their military commanders have been currently eliminated.
They have been neutralized. Yes. It's only the Toji man that they are looking for. And he knows they will surely get him. He too knows that his days are numbered. So, and you feel the best way to say thank you, well done, is to now superimpose
and bring in job for
and bring job for the mercenaries. This is ill advised. It's not well thought out. And we plead with Mr. President to ignore the call.
And Mr. Salami, if you even look at the history of mercenaries across the world, number one, they are not loyal to your country.
Why would they be loyal? They are loyal to the payment.
The payment, and you can never vouch for their integrity and so many.
How
other
can
things.
you?
So I agree with you that we shouldn't discourage these gallant officers and men who daily put in everything to make sure that Nigeria is safe.
We will do an editorial on this. And we will ensure we syndicate it.
Yes.
To ensure that Mr. President ignores the call. It is not a well thought out advice. And I want to believe that rather we should encourage the security agencies to do more. And we as the people should say something
when we see
whenever
something.
we see something.
Exactly. Especially when the senator is saying that, well, the soldiers are doing well, but they are not well equipped. So why not equip
Let's
them?
equip them.
Why not equip them?
Instead of taking the money to the mercenaries who do not mean well for us. Their allegiance is not to us, but is to the payment. And whoever pays more
will get their attention. All right, there's still this other story too. A simple, straightforward story that should have just been left there, but it seems to have been generating some interest. President Tinubu begins 2-week working leave, departs for London. And the president yesterday departed the nation's capital, Abuja, for UK, where he will be spending 2 weeks out of his annual leave. The president was seen over the presidential wing of the airport by top government officials. Mr. Salami, this is a straightforward thing. The president is going on some part of his annual leave to cool off. But it seems a lot of Nigerians are now beginning to question, why should is the president not entitled to annual leave? Is he not entitled to rest?
Lawrence, non sinquano. Is the president not entitled to the leave? The civil servants, don't they go on leave? Even we who are not public office holders, we do take 1 or 2 days off if it's convenient. You do, I do. The thing is this: is the president not a human being? Is it very easy to work? You know, we all, those of us who have reported politics, we know how this thing goes. In fact, at night they don't sleep too. Is the body that stone? The body needs rest. If he goes for 2 weeks to rest, I don't think it is too much. If he's still within his leave days, if he's entitled to 30 days leave, and he says, I'm taking 2 weeks now, so that I can at least go and rest. So we should wait until he breaks down again. So that when he leaves, they said, Mr. President spends 30 days, 90 days, or 3 months. He needs rest. He needs to rest. And he knows how his body works. So let us allow him. There's no issue. I don't think there is any issue in this.
It shouldn't be.
But you know that you know how we work here. This is now our land. We know ourselves. Ordinarily, all we should do is that please rest well.
Exactly.
Enjoy yourself. That's what we should have wished him.
And Mr. Salami, don't forget that the pressures of that office can make even the strongest man break down if you are not careful, because just to be chairman of a local government, try it and see.
Lawrence, so when Obama was in power, his ex became
exactly.
In fact, you couldn't see any black hair again at the stage. You see, if you are working and you are working very hard, the thing takes its toll on you in such a manner that you will not even have time of your own again in life. And before you know it, you become something else. Your health fails you. You will know. But then you need to be alive first before you answer the name Mr. President. all you will answer is ex-president or late president. And is that what we want for our president?
No.
Let them go and rest and let them come back afresh
And
face the duty.
And besides, government is a continuum. There is the vice president there. There is this president of the Senate. We have our service chiefs. We have our governors. Government is running. If there is anything so special that only the president can attend to, we know how to reach him. It's not something that we should dissipate energy over and cry ourselves hoarse in the name of trying to catch attention.
Lawrence, I slightly differ.
Okay.
I slightly differ. You see, our own president is the strongest president in the world. The powers he exercises is such that only God is in front of him. But the truth is this: no man is indispensable. That is why we should not dissipate energy on this. Do you know that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu sleeps, Nigeria has gone to bed?
I'm sure a lot of people would not agree with that. Anyway, Mr. Salami, thank you so much for your interventions. Always very insightful to have you on the show. Thank you so much. Salmon Salami, Chief Operating Officer of Citizen 93.7 FM. Thank you, sir.
It is my pleasure, my brother.
All right, that's our package on the program today. Let's make it a date tomorrow. My name is Lawrence Omoite. Enjoy the rest of your day.